Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. It's been one cluster, you know what of a mess, and I look really bad here because everything's like good. So, while Mike's going on a little bit, I'm gonna play and see if I can change my background here on this one. And hopefully I can. I don't know. Um, yeah. Anyway, how you doing, Mike?
I'm doing much better than you.
Yeah, apparently I'm having nothing but issues right now, and I don't know why I'm having issues.
It's funny because I can see, like, I hear your voice, and then your mouth moves afterwards. It's like a really bad Chinese kung fu movie.
You know what? Honestly, folks, we might have to cancel this show because I can't do it like this. My whole screen and everything is just not. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's like it's. Sorry about that, Mike. It's just not working worth a damn.
Hey, now your lips match up here to your mouth.
Yeah, but it's terrible. I'm like, my God, what did I do, man? I'm like, it's just like, and then my system doesn't have. Oh, it has comments. I like the
Yeah.
back. Yeah, well, I wish I could fix the background, Holly. I mean, it's terrible right now. Um, and I am seriously trying to fix the background on this, but yeah. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you guys, folks. I don't know what to tell you. I wish I could do it, but I can't. For some reason, I don't know how to do this. Anyway, folks, you're just going to have to live with us here. So, Mike, you go ahead and while I'm looking here.
Well, I honestly should have been more prepared. Like, I have stuff here. So, like, tonight we were going to talk about our equipment, right?
Yes, that was the theory.
That was the theory, and I have all the equipment here, and I didn't open any of my cases. So this is probably one of the most unorganized shows we've had in a long time.
Oh, tell me about it. I mean, it's just like every time I turn around, I mean, there's something else going on, and I'm like, what the heck is friggin' am I doing? I mean, yeah.
Okay, hang on, everyone. So while Daryl's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. Bear with me. I have to get my balls.
Whoops. Sorry, folks. Yeah, I wish I could figure out. No. Wish I could figure out what I'm doing wrong, man, but I just don't know. I just don't know how to fix what I'm doing here. Oh, maybe. Hang on a second.
Karen, I don't know why you wouldn't have any sound, because I can hear you just fine, and so can everyone else, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, Mike, go ahead. Working on it. I'm just looking at how to fix my backdrop in my in StreamYard.
Well, I mean, this is a two-person show. We have to do it together. The background is fine. You sound fine. That's what thespians just said.
Well, considering I have to do it on my computer, yeah, it kind of sucks. But oh man, I'll tell you, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
Agreed. So it'll be an abbreviated show. Amy says
Yes,
yes
it'll be a
for
video show. But
yes,
we were talking about equipment, and
yes.
I guess the really long thing um, is hang on.
Ken says, "Hey y'all, hello from Alberta."
Oh, hang on a second.
See, he's not even paying attention, so I can't do this alone.
Hmm?
See? See?
What was that?
I can't talk to you when you're paying attention to something else. I'm trying to talk to you, and you went, hmm?
Well, I think I finally figured it out.
Oh, now you're back to being. Oh, hey, you have a background again.
I changed my background. I'm happy. It's terrible though. The quality of my poor freaking. I just want to. I'm gonna hide behind my thumb.
Yeah, Karen. Weird. Why I cannot hear you? And yes, my volume is up. I don't know what to tell you, Karen. I mean,
Karen, leave the show and come back.
yeah, she
That's
probably can't
usually
hear
what
us
it is.
anyways. She
Huh?
probably can't. Here, I'm gonna write a message here. I'm gonna say, Karen, leave and come back.
Yeah, I even lost my countdown clip that I had on here. I don't know what I did
Yeah.
with it, but I even lost my countdown clip.
Is
I had
that-
a countdown.
Oh, that's backwards. That's not gonna work. Hang on a second here.
Well, no, it worked.
Hang on.
Uh-oh. Mike's gone.
Hold. Okay. Well,
It worked.
Can you actually
Karen,
read it?
leave and come back. God, folks, I'll tell you, it's been one heck of a night. We started way late, and I apologize, but the technical difficulties, apparently Chrome on my phone had an echo issue, and it wouldn't let me talk to Mike. And of course, I can't set a headphone into my phone, so I couldn't talk. And it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. But folks, we were talking about equipment, and really what it comes down to is really the equipment that we use and what we use to get evidence and capture evidence, right? And I saw that, Mike. Better watch it. We're going to give you a thumbs up, and you'll have stars in there too. Well, okay. One of the things that we are well aware of is Mr. Mike's those things. Mr. Mike's balls. Yes, I said it. There you go. Mr. Mike's balls.
I can't juggle though.
Karen said room ? Karen, just leave the show. Hang on a second. Can I do this?
Karen, go.
Karen, get it. Somebody please text Karen and tell her to leave the show and come back. Okay. Actually, I can do it. Hang on. Since I'm off my phone, I can actually do this. Oh, I think so.
God, we got like half an hour left to talk about all of our equipment.
No, we have more than that.
See, Karen sign out and then sign back in. See, Ken gets it.
Good. Okay, that's what he did.
Yeah, Kay said, Karen, log off and come back on again.
Good, there we go. All right, perfect, guys. All right, so equipment. Now, as you saw, Mike was playing with his balls. Mike has multicolored balls, apparently. I don't know if that's from being hit too many times down there or not. I don't know, but but one of the things they do, and that's one of the things. Like when it comes to
You just spat on me.
When it comes to Mike and his balls, he uses those to get evidence. So tell us a little bit how you use those to get evidence, Mike.
Well, I will place them in front of a camera because that is the best way to capture proof that they were moved by something unseen. That's a camera. I've never seen one do that, though. So the idea is to put it, set it up in front of like a trap camera or that kind of camera. That kind.
Oh, you can still do bubbles like I can.
Yes. So We want that kind of camera. So anyways, the reason we do that is so that way we can have proof that the balls actually were moving by something unseen. And we do have photographic evidence of that happening on a trap cam that was set up to take photographs, not to take video.
Which I'm afraid I didn't get.
Yes.
I didn't put
That's
the
okay.
photographic evidence
That's
up
okay.
there.
That's okay. I mean, we do have it. So what is all these comments? Oh, there's a whole lot of comments. Okay. Sparkly balls. Yes.
Yeah.
There's sparkly. Oh, Mike, keep putting your foot in it. What did I put my foot in? Balls in front of cameras, no matter what you're doing, it sounds bad.
Oh dear.
We want to see their trigger objects. Do not think of them as toy balls. They are round trigger objects.
They are round trigger objects.
Yes, that are easily moved, right?
That's true. That is actually very, very true.
It's why, like, if we're going to be talking about trigger objects, I have another really fun one here. I don't think we've ever used it, but it's something that is very easily moved as well. Objects. I have another really fun one here. Oh, I can hear myself.
No, that was. I'm just watching us. That way I can actually see the comments.
Our pit bull saw your balls on the screen and wants to play with them. Oh boy. I think we're gonna have to move on from the balls.
I think we're gonna move on anyway.
So no, I have another trigger object that is very easy to move, and it's not something we've generally used a lot of, but I don't think I've used it in years. It was more of a fad. So do you remember fidget spinners? So kind of like using a toy ball.
Now, have you ever had the fidget spinner fidget?
No.
But it is another thing. But we do have other trigger devices that are a little more. Ow! Don't drop them on your feet, guys. But we do have one. I think you guys will recognize this.
Let me look.
Oh, I meant to hide the name.
Do you have a ghost at your house, Daryl?
It's a REM pod, folks. So the idea of the trigger object, and this is one of the more, as you can see, and eventually it resets, but it has multiple scales, right? You can get like really sensitive by pushing the center button, so you can get. So the idea is something gets close enough to this, and we do have an example of the REM pod. Actually, I do believe. Hang on a second.
Well, we did show a video of the REM pod working last week.
We did, but I removed that. I removed that video. But the REM pod does work, and I'm just going to turn that off because it's really annoying. But the idea is something goes near the REM pod and gets within a certain number of inches on it, depending on how you set it. It triggers the REM pod. And for everybody that was watching the show last week, they did see the REM pod go off, and that was at Camp Alex while we were up in the hall. Correct?
That's correct.
Which sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, what are the biggest glitches to the REM pod?
Well, there's electrical glitches is the big one, right? Interference from like cell phones, Wi-Fi, that kind of stuff will interfere with it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest. And the other one, woot, woot. Trains.
Karen's got us back. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, trains, as we've discovered, because they use the radios to communicate, and every time a train goes by, especially out at one of our favorite locations out there.
Walkie-talkies too.
Yeah.
Walkie-talkies. So if you're going to set a REM pod up, Mike, I mean, from your experience, if you're going to set a REM pod up, where are you going to set it?
Away from anything.
Okay, let's say you're in your general everyday average home.
You want to set it like in the center of a room would be the easiest place. But yeah, as long as you're sure that wherever you're setting it is not going to be like I know it's impossible to see through the floors, so you can't confirm that there's no wiring and stuff underneath where you're putting it, but you kind of want to have it in the center of a room.
Yeah. Yeah. And away from electrical, away from everything else, but be aware that if you're in a city, radio frequencies, including our favorite everyday police, yes, they can set off the REM pod as well.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and it does go yippity yippity to beep to beep to beep, think about it. Think about it before you actually accept it for factual. It can be handy, but you want precise interaction with this, or as best precise interaction as you can get, right? If you can get like once for yes or twice for no, that's great. If you can tell something to go near it, go away, go near it, go away, go near it, go away, and it does that, then that's significant. So if you're going to get evidence on this, be very particular about what you're asking for, not just a random fluctuation, because you never know what's affecting it, right?
Yeah, even cell phones, like I was saying, it could be someone walking past the location you're investigating, and someone could be talking on their cell phone.
Yeah,
and it could interfere with it. And you may have just asked a really awesome question, like, can you please light that up to let us know that you're here? And all of a sudden it lights up. You're like, oh my God. You wouldn't even think to go and check to make sure that there's nobody around.
Exactly.
Right? So
I want to touch on one. I know we've touched on this before, time and time again. Now, this is not necessarily a. Just a minute. I got to go get it from underneath my door. Not necessarily a doorstop. Infamous K2.
All right, I got to turn off Mike's.
I know Mike's got the world's brightest.
Yeah, I got to turn off my light here so you guys can actually kind of see it.
Okay, hang on. I got to close my eyes. K2's. Oh God. Oh. That's bright, man. Holy Jesus. I thought mine was bright. Like mine is like, you can't even see mine for Pete's sake. It's like,
world's brightest.
That's right. K2. Now, I wanted to bring up the K2. Now, a lot of people don't like the K2 because a lot of people feel it's a doorstop. And I mean, I've heard that time again. And some people say it's absolute. They won't use it. Other people use it all the time. We do use it. One thing that I found the K2 kind of handy for, and it's nice to have because it's easy to walk around with, is when you're doing a walkthrough. Now, I'm going to show you a clip of a walkthrough at a place that we did an investigation with our good friend Kay, up with Faculty X about a year ago now. And it was an interesting event, but we had a walkthrough with multiple people. And in this walkthrough, you'll see somebody walking through a kitchen. You'll notice there's definitely 3 objects in the person's hands. I do believe one of them is a K2, but if you guys can nail what the other objects are, I'm not looking at the comments. Mike is, so he'll have to let me know. But have a look at this and let me know if you can spot the objects and what they might be and why. That's all it was. One quick clip. Now, I know you didn't see the K2. It was in her other hand.
What? She has 2 hands?
It was in Bev's other hand. And she carried the K2. She carries a recorder. And you also saw, again,
dun, dun, dun.
The video camera. And you're going to see this a lot. And I mean a heck of a lot tonight. I'm going to show you multiple times that this comes in handy. And the fact that it does have a funky little green screen, which you can actually see on that, which is kind of cool. Right? There we go.
You get it there in front of your camera. Like, oh, look at that. You're green.
Wow, it looks like I have a mustache. Oh, wait a minute. I do. No.
What?
But the green screen comes in handy. I just got to remember where my actual little thing is up there. It's not like my phone. I could hold that just down there and I'd know where it is. But again, it was all about backup. And that's one thing I wanted to really bring up to everybody is no matter what equipment you're using, have multiples,
Yes.
whether it's recorders, K2s, EMF detectors, whatever they may be, have multiples because you never know what you're going to need and where you're going to need it, right? And what's going to catch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple.
Going to the comments, the only, pardon me, the only recent comment was, I think this has to do with when we were talking about the REM pod.
Yeah.
Kay was asking, have you used it in a Faraday cage?
Yes. The REM pod, no. I have a tough time with Faraday cages. I mean, when it comes to the ghost box, I can see the advantage of a Faraday cage. I think if you're going to use a Faraday cage around all your equipment, you might as well just neglect the fact that you're even doing an investigation. The Faraday cage is designed to stop electrical signals, period.
Yeah.
If we figure that people generate their own electrical fields, and they do, and that's part of the afterlife, then are you even allowing them the opportunity to interact, or are you just stealing that away from them, saying, "Here, no, you can't, you're not going to use it." I have never seen. I know what the use of the Faraday cage is, and I agree that it's plausibly usable in certain circumstances. But I think shoving a REM pod inside one wouldn't help. That's just my opinion. Mike?
No, that's pretty. I would have to almost agree with you. It makes complete sense. I mean, it makes it. I kind of understand the reasoning behind it when you want to use the spirit box, but again, when it comes to like the REM pod, what it's designed for, you're kind of eliminating the ability for that to happen. So that makes sense. I wouldn't want to use it.
Yeah, and I know Mike has said stuff. Our technical guy, Mike, not you, Mike, but the other Mike. And I mean, he does have a Faraday cage, and I think it's a oh god, it's a what was the bag? It's a Crown Royal bag.
It is a Crown Royal bag, yes.
That he's actually made the Faraday cage out of, and it works. And even when we use the ghost box in it, we never shove the ghost box all the way in.
No.
Now, the interesting thing about what Mike did with the ghost box that he has two of them. They're older versions. The one he has an aerial on, and the other one he does not.
Yeah.
He removed the aerial, which can prove rather interesting at times. So I don't know. I would be hesitant to tie up all my equipment by shoving it into a Faraday cage. I just would be. That's just me.
It would be fun to possibly, when you like, for example, when you say to have multiples. So if say you had two REM pods, put one in a Faraday cage and one not. You could do that.
That is true.
Right?
That is true. Let's see. Another piece of equipment. Very similar to the K2. But quite a step up. It's a millimeter, folks.
And I have a similar one. Hang on, I'm going to turn it on here.
Mine is nice and white. Still relatively clean. And it shows a very, well, it showed, well, if I shake it, there, you see how it jumps up? Shake it again. Oh, yours is, oh, that's just so cute. But unlike these ones are okay, but I did find that the millimeter, although it's great because you can set it down on something and still watch it. It has ambient temperature, which is right at the bottom here. And you can see, if you hold the tip, you see how the ambient temperature goes up and down, right? You let go of the tip and it goes down. So
I don't think mine does that.
Yours is probably a different spot for ambient temperature, but the great thing about the millimeter is it was never built for the paranormal field, strictly for the paranormal field. It was actually built for other reasons, but It does what exactly it is intended to do. It detects electromagnetic fields. Just like anything else, it detects electromagnetic fields. The only problem is with the millimeters, you shake them, you get random, well, it's not doing it now, but you get random like 6.4, 64. You get random readings on it, which is really weird. So when you're moving the millimeter, guys, use it to help, and I hate to use the word debunk, but I guess prove or disprove what your findings are. If it'll be able to track stuff randomly, just like a K2 will. It's going to be more accurate. It's going to give you a better reading. It's going to give you an ambient temperature while you're at it. So millimeters, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say having one of these, you're up in that 8 or 9.
Yeah, I would agree. They're useful tool to have. And like I know the actual millimeter, that one that you have is a little bit on the higher price. That mine was a much cheaper version, but it still pretty much does the same thing. So
yeah,
for those of you that are on a budget, something like this does work too.
That's true. Mine was, I think it was about $300 when I bought it originally, and it is a little more expensive. Now I do have one. I don't think Mike has.
I don't.
Folks, this is, oh, hang on a second. I got to get close to my camera. It is a tri-field meter. Now it's an old one. That's why the tape's around it to hold the lid on. But when you go into test, the battery's good if you hit the test and it goes up. Now you have magnetic, 0 to 100 range, magnetic 0 to 3 range. A lot of times we use the 0 to 3 range if we're looking for electrical areas. You also have electric on it and radio frequencies. The magnetic, we'll look at magnetic things caused, including by electricity. There are 2 types. There's these, and then there is the ones that are earth magnetic. They're a lot more sensitive, and they're good if you're out in the middle of, but you know what, nowhere. If you're out in the middle of no place, then you want the different one than this. But it works really well for tracking down electrical fields. So if you're going to use this in an investigation, it's not for getting evidence of a spirit. It's for basically finding out what the heck is going on, because literally you can put it up to a wall and track exactly where the electrical goes along the wall. It's great that way. Really good one for debunking what people say. They're feeling something on the wall. You check this out. It's going to tell you whether it's factual or whether it's all in their head or our head, whichever the case may be. Yeah.
I have one.
Uh-oh, he has one.
I have to find it. I know our dear friend, Kay says, so in conjunction with placing a REM pod, you would use that.
What would be in conjunction with placing REM pod?
I'm guessing
the millimeter.
The millimeter, or yeah.
But the millimeter can affect the REM pod. REM pod can affect the millimeter when it goes off.
Yes. So I know Kay has one of these. We've just actually recently used this on a recent investigation.
Oh, the rook.
The rook. So this is a fun little one. It actually makes a funny sound. So I don't know if you can actually hear that.
Yeah, it sounds weird. Why couldn't they make it go like yip yip or beep beep or something like that? But I mean,
I don't know. It's kind of creepy, right? It's like a.
Well, it's like somebody squeezing a poor mouse. I mean, it's. Oh my god!
So this is a lot similar to like the K2, right? Just makes an audible sound. So.
Now, folks, we had a good one at our last investigation that we did with this. We had the rook and the K2 sitting on top of a unit, glass unit, and the rook fell over, and the poor fellow with us jumped pretty well. And I mean, it was just like, I mean, I don't know. I guess something, probably just vibration, caused the rook to fall, but the timing was really impeccable. But it was
priceless. It was priceless.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, and he had a good laugh out of it. But it was a lot of fun.
That was pretty funny.
But yeah, so if you're going to use the rook, though, I mean, where have you found the best places to use the rook, and why?
Funny enough, I don't use it very often. One that's kind of standing out to me was a residential case I used it on, and the person was claiming to be having. He thought he was seeing things in his bedroom. So I was using that to do a base sweep around his room rather than the K2. And that one actually picked up some really high spikes around his clock radio. For those that don't know, clock radios can give off really high EMF, which can cause hallucinations and people to have really weird dreams. So that could be an explanation as to what he was experiencing. It was nothing, not necessarily anything paranormal. And I did explain that to him. So that was one example when I was using the Rook as opposed to a K2. It was actually like an audible, like Thespian says it sounded like a swarm of crickets.
It sounded like, yeah, okay. It sounded like a swarm of crickets. Like, yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah, it does actually. So that's an example of when I've used it, which I don't use it very often, but it's in our arsenal. Okay.
Okay, so I would think that when using the Rook is just like very much, I guess, like the K2, isn't it?
It is.
It's like a mixture between the K2 and the REM pod, or the Mel meter, almost.
Yeah, it's just like because it doesn't do temperature. It's just picking up EMF, right?
Yeah, which a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What's next? It's a really simple one, folks. Really simple one. And I'm going to show you two. One is real simple, and one is, well, one hell of a lot more expensive. Simple one.
Hey, wait a second.
Ready? Draw. Ah, crap. I lost. Folks, it's a...
I win.
Real simple, folks. It is basically a temperature sensor. And this one doesn't have batteries in it. I don't know if Mike's does.
No, mine's dead too.
But you pull the trigger, you point it, and a little red light comes out. And wherever that red light hits, that'll give you the temperature of exactly what the red light is hitting. It's kind of cool. It's a little quick draw thing. Somebody says, I got a cold spot over there against the wall. Click, boom, you're going to get a reading almost instantly off of it. It's instant gratification, but you got to know exactly where you're hitting and what's on the opposite side and what's affecting these things. But they are pretty cool. If somebody says, I got a cold spot beside me or a hot spot, aim it beside them, have a look. They're like $20?
Yeah, $20-$25. Mine's Canadian.
Yeah, I mean, well, there you go, Mastercraft, and I think mine is the one from, I don't even know where I got mine. I don't even know what it says. I can't read it. Anyway, Stanley or something like that. So Mastercraft and Stanley. But there is one that can be a lot more. Now, some people have asked, how do I use this? And basically, in a nutshell, it is, at the time when I bought this, it was close to about $1,700 or $1,800. It was expensive at the time. Probably about $1,600, I think. It was expensive at the time. But what it can do, and this is an older version, so I would like to get a newer version. What it can do is tell you hot spots, cold spots, right down to about 0.3 of a degree. And what it looks like when you aim it at somebody, I don't know if you can see that, but
no. I know what it's supposed to be showing, but no.
Yeah. Anyway, it does show. Well, it's hard to see it, but the camera kind of blocks it out. But anyway,
yeah. Kay says thermal imaging. She says,
yeah, FLIR, yeah, forward-looking infrared. Great little device. And you can take, now this one takes pictures. The other ones nowadays, which I'm going to be looking into soon, actually connects onto your cell phone. Now, you would say carrying this around with you could be detrimental. Could be if the Wi-Fi was on. But if you don't need the Wi-Fi on or the airplane, you can have it on airplane mode and still use the thermal system. They're running about $350 to $400 a shot.
Yeah.
But you can get one strictly for iPhones. You can get one strictly for Androids. They do not mix between the two. So don't buy one for an iPhone thinking you can use it across the board. You cannot.
Right.
But they're great because you can take videos with them. You can take recordings with them, and they're pinpoint accurate. And let me tell you, what you can catch with these things are incredibly phenomenal if you get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if you get lucky. The only thing I can say about this one goes clickety click about every 3 minutes or so. It just resets.
It's probably a little more often than that. But
yeah, probably more often, probably every 30 seconds. It resets, recalculates, right? Which is okay, but it's disturbing. It's like click. Now, if you're used to it, it's not a big deal. You kind of know that that's what it is in an investigation. Use it for determining cold spots. Use it for determining hot spots. Somebody says, I think I've got something beside me. Aim it at them. If it's cold and dark, you're going to see it. Okay. Yeah. If it's really white, it's going to be super hot. Anywhere in between old buildings, great. You can name them up. You can actually see the studs in the wall. You can see studs in the ceiling. If the insulation's not good, if it is, you won't see it. Newer buildings, a lot harder to see anything. Older stuff, you can see it really clearly. You can see where flows of cold air come in. When people say it's always cold in that corner, you can look up and go, well, that's because you have a huge airflow coming in from the top right corner, and here it is, right? Here's a picture of it. Great for proving what is and what's not at an investigation. Is it worth investing? My point of view, yes. For a group, yes. If somebody can afford it, yes. Get the one for the phone. It's well worth the investment. Just really, really, really learn how to use it, right? Because you could capture some really phenomenal evidence with it, and why miss it if you don't have it, right?
No, yeah, I don't dispute that. I mean, I had a personal experience that was involved using a FLIR camera. I wish I had the footage from it, but it was where I was sitting in a hallway and it was summertime, and I had that cold feeling come around me, and it lasted for about 2-3 minutes, and then I said, okay, I've had enough, and then the person looking at the FLIR said, the blue is now moving away from you and it's gone.
And I wish
I
wish you had that. I wish you had that evidence.
I do too.
Because that would have been fantastic to see.
It was pretty unreal. It was really unreal.
I've caught footsteps that haven't disappeared on that one, but
you showed me that, and I think that is pretty amazing as well. Like that's really incredible stuff.
It just that. So that's why I say, guys, it's if somebody can afford it, it's worth having it. It really is. But reflections.
And that's not just with FLIR. That's with any, like if you're taking video or photo too. Always be aware of your reflections.
Exactly. Now
it's more a matter of being aware of your surroundings.
Yep. Now I want to bring up a device that we used to have, and I don't use it anymore. They're gone. I got rid of it all. DVR. I don't know if you've ever used the DVR system, Mike.
No.
DVR, it was a lot of work. Now, if you have a wireless DVR and you're not worried about Wi-Fi, it generates its own Wi-Fi, you could probably get away with that, but there's a lot of issues with that, with Wi-Fi, as you know. A DVR system, in all the years I've had it, number one, I can tell you with about 4 to 6 cameras running, usually 4, but with 4 to 6 cameras running, you're watching, and they're running all night, like 4 to 6 hours. Can you imagine how much time you're watching?
No. I don't want to think about that.
Unless you have something that registers, a really good one will tell you an events, okay? But do you know how many times and how many butts I have watched in my life? Yeah, you actually learn very quickly how to identify people from their ass. You really do. I'm like, oh, there goes up, there goes up, there go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, no, I was right. That was them. I mean, honestly, you sit back and you watch going,
Which brings me
I
to the
know
next
that
thing.
one.
When like I know we haven't brought it up yet, which is trap cameras. Be really aware of where you're setting them up. Like you think you got a great spot, and you go back to review, and all you have is photos and videos of people's butts.
And guys, just be aware that when you're using a trap camera or a DVR system, there are certain levels of clothing and kinds of clothing that it will see right through.
Yes, yeah.
So,
And because like a lot of this footage, it just stays on a computer somewhere. It's like I don't really want to share all these findings with everyone because it's not flattering.
no, and it does show up, but that's part and parcel of what we do.
But for those that are wondering what we're talking about,
exactly. And Mike's got some really good ones there. And actually, one of those is part of a thing. Now, actually, we'll bring that up because we can even show you what it caught. Now, this brings up again position. So, if you're going to place a trap cam, Mike, where's the most likely areas you're going to put them?
Well, I mean, it depends on what sort of activity is happening. It's like, say, using the police museum as an example, you want to point it in a direction that is going to be where it's not going to fall over. It's not going to be bumped. It's not going to be in the way, but also is pointed in a direction where hopefully suspected activity is going to happen. You also don't want it to be interfering with another trap camera, because then they can kind of counteract each other.
Yeah,
because we've had that happen. And you also don't want it to be pointed towards a IR camera, right? Like the video camera.
Yeah.
Again, for the same reason, because it's going to be triggering it, and all you're going to see is bright infrared light in the green screen.
Yeah, but you did something unique with one not that long ago at the Vancouver Police Museum. Explain a little bit more exactly about what you did, why you put it there, and then we'll show you what happened.
Are we talking about the overflow?
We are talking about the overflow.
So we were just finishing, in the process of doing a Estes method, as I recall, and we were swapping out. You had actually left to go and pay for your parking. So, but we had a video camera set up in there, and it's in the shot of where my trap camera was set up. Now, the video camera wasn't supposed to move, or shouldn't move.
It was on a tripod.
Camera shouldn't move, huh? What's that?
It was on a tripod.
It was on a tripod, exactly, because we had it pointed at the person that would have been sitting in the room. So we had just left the room. You had just gone to go pay for your parking. We were outside talking. My trap cam picked up some movement and then malfunctioned.
Now, we're going to show you this movement, and I'll play it a couple times because it happens pretty quick. Now, keep in mind, what is being captured on this is the IR light system that's above the video camera.
Yeah.
And now picture this. This is a small little, maybe 15 by 25-foot room, I guess, with all the stuff in there and everything. And it's set up, and the camera is just on the tray, right? One of the trays now this is an overflow mode, guys.
Yes, it was the trap camera, and it's this one.
Yeah.
And you can see it's like, I kind of just set it like so, right?
Yeah.
It was set up on a tray that would have had at one time a deceased person on it. Yeah. So it was sitting on this tray, pointed into the room, and like you said, you could see the IR light to the video camera, which was on a tripod.
Yeah.
So, and it captured movement.
Have a look.
I was like Creed.
Now there's a lot of verbal stuff. Ignore all that because we're outside, or they're out in the in the blood room, which is outside the big main door. The door was open, but there was no reason for the hole. And now this is not just the camera moving. This is the whole tripod.
The whole apparatus, the tripod, the camera, everything everything was. And it's not like, everyone's like waiting for it to like slide across the room. But it's moving. Like,
have a look again.
And the reason it only captured that much, which is like 3 seconds, it's because the camera malfunctioned. That's all it captured.
Yeah, but did the camera actually malfunction though, Mike?
Well, I say it did, but it's never done that before, and it's never done it since.
That is absolutely true, folks. Now that camera, just to be clarified, that's supposed to catch what, 5 seconds of video?
No, it's actually supposed to capture 30 seconds of video and take 3 photos at the same time.
And it only captured like 5 seconds of video and no photos.
And no photos.
So here's my thought, folks. Did the camera malfunction? Or is there something a little more time slippy to it, if you know what I mean?
Oh, here he goes down a rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah. Love those rabbit holes. But we've talked about time slips before. So, but it was an interesting capture. It was really interesting. Now, that's the advantage to having the trap cams. Now, I'm going to go back one because when we were talking about the DVRs, I said I don't use them anymore, but in all the time I did have them, there was one capture that I got. Now, I'm not allowed to say where this place is, and you can't tell from the photo or from the video, but this is actually slowed down. The initial capture that was caught, like literally it happened in under a second. It was like 3/4 of a second long that I noticed this was like blinking your eye. But when I slowed it down, have a look at the table. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is in the basement of a place. The the DVR camera was set up above, looking down into this room onto this table. There was nobody there at the time. There was nobody down there. We were all upstairs, and something crossed that table. Kind of cool.
I haven't seen that in quite a while. I know you've showed me before, but when you and I were on with Mike Smith recently on Friday the 13th on CKNW,
yeah,
and he was asking me about one of my most freakiest moments. That what you just captured or showed with everybody there is very similar to what I saw with my own eyes. A darkness like that.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's cool. It's spooky. It's like, oh my God, did I just see it? That's pretty cool that you captured that.
And honestly, folks, that camera was up there for a good 6 hours. And that's like less than a second of that footage. And guess who reviewed it? And you wonder why I'm crazy, right? But I mean, a DVR system can come in handy, but you really need something that's probably Wi-Fi, so you don't have to run cables all over the place, and something that you're willing to sit back and watch 20 hours worth of video. So unless it's going to detect events and you can pick out those events only, it's all about how much time have you got, guys.
Yeah. You better be willing to put in the time if you're going to be investing in setting up a camera or multiple cameras.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Yeah. Everyone's going, oh, I got 20 cameras. I'm going to set them all up over the place. I hope you have the time to review 20 cameras worth, because that's a lot of video.
That's a lot. That's a lot of cameras. That's a lot of cameras. Yeah. Hey, folks, we were at 9:06, but we're going to keep going here because we were about 15 minutes late, weren't we? At least.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, let's go for a little bit longer.
Well, yeah, we've been on 51 minutes right now, so we're going to go a little bit longer. I didn't just see that, did I?
Did you see something?
I'm pretty sure I saw something. I mean, you got redheads hanging around?
Kind of odd question.
He's got a really good trigger device, folks. Meter. Hello. It's Raggedy Ann.
Kay says I'm playing with my dolly. This is our Annabelle, our version of Annabelle.
Yes, and Annabelle's a cute Annabelle. Have you ever had anything trigger around her, though?
No. I have had, well, funny enough, I've never, she's been on lots of investigations, and she's actually an honorary investigator. I've never had anything happen during an investigation with her. We've put REM pods in her lap, K2s in her lap. Nothing's ever happened. Funny enough, where I keep her at home is on top of it's about 5 feet tall glass cabinet, square cabinet. I keep her on top of there with a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man of all things. I know, right? You say you're crazy. I'm just as equally crazy. Anyways, she was up there, and I had gone away for work, and I came back, and I see her on the floor beside the case, and I was like, "What? Why is she on the floor?" My wife then tells me, "Well, she fell, and I wasn't picking her up." No chance in hell.
You know what, Mike? One day when you least expect it, I'm going to tie a fishing line to her, and when we're at an investigation, we'll see Mike going out the freaking door. Exactly. Let's see, what other tools have we got here? Oh, one of the more important things was this is actually the this is actually the H4N.
I didn't bring mine with me. It's upstairs at my, I know, mine's just a Sony voice recorder.
You know what is to now, and me and Kay have actually had some really good conversations about these recorders. And you know, whether one recorder is better than another recorder, whether one recorder picks up better than another recorder. I mean, it all depends on what you use. I think everything can pick up. Hell, we used to use tape recorders, like off you go. You know, you got that big old honking thing. You look like you're Spock wandering around doing something, right? I mean, seriously, it's a lot. But when you're using, and one of the best things for picking up evidence, of course, is that whether it's EVP or evidence of somebody's stomach growling or burping, or I don't even think I put it up here. We actually had a ghost fart one day. We know who it was, but I mean, he'll never admit to it. But it's great for picking up EVP and for debunking other things. I mean, one recorder can pick up a recording, and another recorder 10 feet away may not pick it up. Not because it's not any good. It might have been looking in a different direction. Like, everyone has its field, right? The field of view, or field of audio view. So it all depends on where you're set up, and if you're lucky enough, I think, to be in the right time, the right place to pick up an EVP.
Perfect example. Doing an EVP session. I can't say where it was, but in a large group of, there's 4 of us in this one particular room. I had mine placed underneath the door to the room, pointed out into the hallway. So I was asking a question. No one else in the room got this particular EVP that I got, and it was actually an answer to my question. So
really?
So it was whatever I asked, or whoever I was talking to. Were they out in the hallway and just answering from outside there? They weren't in the room at all with us. It was really cool. And my question was, did you travel a long distance to get here? And my voice recorder picked up a voice saying, yes.
Cool.
Right? Really cool.
So what equipment have we missed on? I mean, there's lots out there.
I have I don't have batteries in it right now, but I have, and this is just from Dollarama of all places. This is a motion light. So theory behind this, you just set it up somewhere and it's going to pick up IR, right? Oh, K has a suggestion as well. So this has an IR camera. So basically it's like a security camera. Something moves in front of it, it's going to turn on. It's really simple, right?
Yeah. And I actually didn't bring my EDI.
So
I have it.
That was Kay's comment.
Yeah, I have it. I actually don't have it on me, Kay. I'm sorry. I'd have to run and go get it. So I'm not going to leave the show right now to run out there and go get it. You're right. An EDI, it's designed, basically, it's been designed by people in the field and people outside the field to actually look at vibration, humidity, temperature, both high and low. And you use it. It has about five or six different areas that it looks into, and you use it during an EVP session or doing any session you're doing. You stop at the same time you stop your session, and it will show you if there's any external factors that fluctuate to a degree that it would cause you to go, that's interesting, especially if you catch an EVP and you're looking at something and you're looking at your EDI and it's like boom, boom, maybe in the humidity or something like that, or the vibration range. And if you get that consistently, then you start thinking, well, I got an EVP, I got this, I got an EVP, I got this, I got an EVP, I got this. What's the correlation? How does it correlate? Something's changing every time this happens. What is it? And it gives you a whole new aspect to look at things and a really unique way to back something up, right? So it's really kind of cool. But yeah, as Kay would say, don't walk around with it. You push it, leave it, set it, forget it. That's basically what you do. You don't walk around with it. An EDI is not meant to walk around. There is one piece of equipment I know you don't use anymore, Mike. I'll get you to touch on that one. Yeah, I mean, it leaves a bunch of little sticky things. Not those sticky things, the other sticky things.
You lost me there. I'm looking around going, what the hell do I have that leaves sticky things?
Figure things.
Oh.
Ding.
Hang on. Hang on.
Oh, we got to. Oh. Now, if that had lit up, that would have been perfect.
For those of you who don't know why I have light bulbs in my kit, I posted a video to our page about it, what we use the light bulbs for.
That's another one too.
That is another one. It was the plasma ball and the light bulb, which was really new. It's new to us, but it's really cool. I know what you're talking about. Stick figure thing. It's the SLS camera, structured light sensor camera, and it's basically the Kinect camera to an Xbox connected to a computer, iPad, whatever you want to connect it to, really, as long as you got the software to use it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we don't use it anymore is because it's designed to pick up people, figures. It's mapping them out.
Yeah.
So it's basically it's doing what it's designed to do, and when it's picking up things, it could be picking up your shadow, and it's going to go, well, there's a shadow here. It looks like a person. I'm going to map it out. Unfortunately, it's going to map out people sitting in chairs, dancing on the ceiling, dancing in, if you're in a church, it's dancing in the pews. Like, it's just, there's no consistency. And because, according to Kay, it upsets her. The only way I would ever consider possible proof when you're using that device is if you have it set up in front of a white or blank wall, like a plain wall, with nobody in the room at all, and then you had a video camera recording while it was doing its thing.
That's right. No windows, no nothing.
No nothing. And that's the only way I would ever consider something possibly being paranormal of what it's picking up. Otherwise, anything I've ever captured on it, gone.
And
Trash.
for those teams that are walking around with the portable ones,
Oh God. I
feel
mean,
it.
remember when you said reflections?
Yeah, just don't.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Now there's a couple of videos. I'm going to get into a couple of videos before we end our show coming up, and these are just kind of a few things that we want to show you where things are involved in this, EVPs and whatnot, and one couple of EVPs that are non-video, and one particular video we're going to leave till the end. So the first one actually is an Alex Hall. It's an EVP. It was picked up. The camera was involved, so the camera picked it up. I do believe multiple recordings picked it up, and I do believe the K2s at the end of the hall, but although you can't see me because I'm standing in front of them, also went off on this. But have a look.
Would you like us to stop this noisy box? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. All right, we'll stop it then. All right, thank you very kindly. You're gonna stop, okay? I'd like to thank you for your time.
You heard it say yes?
I heard it say yes.
That's actually pretty cool. I really love that. Now that had recorders involved, cameras involved, ghost box were involved, K2 involved, REM pod involved, and how many investigators? 4, if not
I
more.
think there's at least 4 of us.
4 or 5 of them there. So, I mean, there was a lot of things to back up this finding, and it was really a kind of a very cool finding to find. Does anybody want to hear it again? Okay, Kay brought up a good one, the ovulator.
So he's referring to the Ovilus, and it's built into my phone of all things.
Mhm.
So I can't demonstrate it. It is it's a device that the spirits are supposed to use to communicate. We don't use it for evidence. We use it more actually for fun. If
It does a
anything.
guide.
You know what? On a stale night where we can't think of questions to ask, all of a sudden something will come up and we'll go, let's go with this, and start asking questions, and then it just keeps us going. So
Yeah.
it's really it's never meant to be really taken too seriously.
Now, for most people that have been to the Vancouver Police Museum, they know that the following EVP was played during our Halloween event over there, the ghost tours. This is one instance of the ghost box, again, being used up on the lab floor. And this name, well, have a listen.
Could you say the name of anybody who works here?
What was that?
Lucifer.
Did it say that?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
No, didn't hear it that time.
Either that or Lucy.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Lucifer.
Lucy Lucifer. Now we got a couple of EVP. Now one of them is from a theater that we were once in, and I don't even think you've heard this, Mike, but this is a good indication as to why I always have multiple recording devices, because this was caught on multiple recording devices. Have a listen. It's sound. It's not somebody talking. Well, there is people talking, but you're listening for the sound. Have a listen. Tell me what you think you hear.
When I was downstairs, I had asked last time I was here if you knew the fellows that were with us. One of them.
Was that you?
That was me. Sorry, I was scratching. One of them. No, that wasn't.
The wind's picking up pretty good. The hell?
What the hell? When I was downstairs, I had asked last time I was here if you knew the fellows that were with us. One of them.
Was that you?
That was me. Sorry, I was scratching. One of them. No, that wasn't.
The wind's picking up.
Wow.
So that stomp was like somebody was stomped, turned, took 1, 2, 3 steps, turned, stomped the heel down as if you would hear from like a army personnel or something like that. And that was it. So they turned, they took a couple steps, they turned and stomped or did something or stopped and stomped or whatever it was. That was damn unique.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So always have you think, and I like Kay said Lucy. Yeah, no, it wasn't Lucy, but it was Lucifer. Now we have another audio. So have a listen to this one. Tell me what you hear.
Come on, yes or no? Was he in that one? What did it say?
I thought it was the F word.
I thought he said, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was it that one? Was it come on, yes or no? Was he in?
So it we thought it said something. Nobody heard what it said. And then it does say at one point behind you, but it's quiet. And then right at the end, the fridge. That was not me. Have a listen one more time.
That one? What did it say?
I thought it was the F word.
I thought he said, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was it that one? Was it
That was pretty cool. Now I guess we're getting on to pretty well almost the end of our show, aren't we? We're a little past. So guys, we're going to run one more video for you. Now, Mike, this happened off, and I'm allowed to say where, actually. It's off in Merritt. I won't say the location, but it was off up in Merritt. We're all sitting in the upstairs hallway. And needless to say, now this event does tie back to something, and I won't get into that right now, but you'll have to ask Kay about. But watch what happens. Now, this place affected me one way, it affected Mike one way, it affected somebody else one way. So this is why you hear me acting completely out of character in this. But have a listen and watch what happens.
And the one that Mike is in was the gentleman's room.
what the?
Sorry, but
No. You.
something just happened to me.
Yeah, something just happened.
What happened?
What the hell?
Something touched my crotch.
Whoa.
I'm not joking.
Okay, I'm not saying something just touched your crotch, but I'm saying there was a light in that room behind Kay. It lit up the whole hall, and it just went out. I watched it. The light was on, and then it was off.
Now, Mike, you sure it wasn't yourself?
I'm 100% certain.
You weren't touching yourself.
Because I actually thought it was my headphone cord, but my headphone cord is right here.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
So
Mike's excitement just went up.
No.
No, it
That's a
didn't.
little alarming, actually.
is somebody playing with Mike?
Mike has been a popular fella tonight.
Whoa! What the hell? Oh, I know what it is. Never mind. I moved, and guess what I set off, Mike?
My trail cam behind
Yep.
me.
That's what it was. I've been trying not to move, but I moved a little bit, and your trail cam went off. That's why. Yep.
It's gone
Okay.
off now.
Yep. It's off.
But that still doesn't explain your little pickle tickle
That-
there.
That
Sorry.
does not explain the crotch grab.
Does not explain the pickle tickle.
Can you tell me who touched Mike?
The pickle tickle. Oh my god.
Oh, I've got just wait. We'll have to go on a lot of these more of these because I've got a few.
Well, between Mike's bowls and now he's
Yeah.
Now it's pickle.
I have no comments.
Now, I do have a question. Was it a grab, a pinch, a stroke, a touch? I'm sorry. I'm just curious. Mike.
I've been violated.
By words, too.
What?
Nude.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I mean, it's legitimate questions, but it's like
Telepathy. Telepathy. Interesting.
oh, we've had that lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. what can I tell you guys? Oh.
If you had asked me 7 years ago when I got started on this, if I would have expected an experience like that, not a chance in hell.
But folks, honestly, it was quite the experience. And at some point in time, we can tell you there's evidence to back this experience up to a point, historic evidence. Yeah, it's still, but it's there. And so it's rather unique. But there you go, folks. Strange things do happen in the paranormal realm. And on that note, folks, because of the late start, we're actually at the end of our show.
We are.
So on behalf of myself, Daryl, and
Mr. Pickle Tickle himself.
thank you, Mike. We'd like to thank you all for putting up with us, sticking with us for tonight, and having being a part of this great show. It's been a lot of fun. And next week, I've already got something set to discuss. So actually 2 weeks away. All right, folks. Thank you again. Have an awesome night for both of us. See you later.
Good night, everybody.